So it can be confirmed. To you, my Yah, do I lift up my soul. And trust in you, he always kept me whole. And left my enemies deep in their holes. Let none that wait on Yahweh be ashamed. But shame on those who sin without a cause. Show me your ways, please teach me your laws. Oh Elohim of my salvation, I'm staying down and patient. As a child, all the while I'm waiting. Remember not the sins of my youth. Lead me in your truth, and he'll give your soul ease. The earth shall remain inherited by a seed. The secret of Yah's will who fears Elohim. A fool believes everything, and to every word spoken. You can't take heed unless you hear somebody curse. You know you did the same thing. That's why I'm begging Yah for mercy and His love and kindness, cause I know that I ain't worthy.
The seven seas, captivity is taking hold upon me. Put fright in me and now we flee from fallen leaves. The grinding grief from all the blood our people seen. And now we cry, where is the word from Elohim? And so we said that we are His wives to be submissive, but we dismissed it. It is of this reason we have fallen victim to the lies that your root will prey and pursue. Rebellious of His Son, forgotten that He is one. Broken the holy ordinance, rejection of reproof. Then acknowledge what we do. Now we return back to the truth.
Yah's word is the truth. Yah's decrees is the proof. Local 12 just released the scoop. It's the summer of Sam. They calling us hand. Made us worship the Son of Man. And somehow that the moon, they stole our style and gave it to Rothschild. Now we exalt the vow, but hit the turnstile. Yah's Nabi set the crooked things straight. Praise Yah from the rising to the evening to the closing the gates. Exposing the fake. Yah give the truth a daybreak. Now the liars can't escape, and the haters can't relate to the light that truth make. See the wicked's pride deflate. Ye adore Yah, magnify Yah, cause He's great.
All Yah give is truth. All Yah teach is truth.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, giving all praise and honor to the Holy One of Israel, to the Creator of the heaven, the earth, the sea, and all that is therein is, by saying hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. Yah is righteous, Yah is holy, and let Yahweh be magnified. Once again, the Creator has allowed us to come before you another day, bringing to you His great and holy and exalted words, even the words of Yah. My name is Mowreh IshiYAH YIsraEL of the house of Israel, located right here in Cincinnati, Ohio, 1907 Vine Street, bringing to you nothing but the truth. And yes, all we're going to do is tell you the truth, For Yah ordained me to tell you the truth. And this is what I'm going to do. And who is this Yah? Yah is the creator of the heaven, the earth, the sea, and all that is therein is. Yah is the Elohim of our fathers, the Elohim of Abraham, Yitzhak, and YIsraEL, whom you may know as Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yah is our king. He's our judge. He's our lawgiver. And Yah is our only Savior. And not just of Israel. Yah is the Savior of the world. And I praise the mighty Yah for bringing us through this week all the way unto this 6th day. Once again, to bring to you his great, holy, and exalted words. I also want to thank my fellow Mowrehs, my brothers who stepped in while I was out of town. Also bringing to you nothing but the truth. I left off dealing with the signs of the times. And it's very important to know, because if you don't know the times, then how can you then recognize the various signs that Yah gave us for the times? So they go hand in hand. A lot of people say they see signs and they recognize a sign, and don't you see the signs? But then when you ask them, well, what time we in? What do you mean what time we in? We're in the last day, so what time is that? In other words, what year are we in? The only year they can give you are the years of our enemies, the years of the heathen. And the Almighty told us not to follow the ways of the heathen. For the way of the heathen, or for the heathen, are dismayed at the signs of heaven. And why? Because they believe that the signs of heaven dictate the times. And little do they know, and little do our people know, what dictate time is the word of Yahweh. Yes, I know when we're going to go to the Creator's word, where it says, let these lights be for signs, season, days and years. And we're going to explore that. And we're going to talk about it. And we're going to examine it and uncover every rock that our people have not looked under. How can you go by lights without going by the scriptures? Why you think our heathens got it wrong? Or the heathens got it wrong? Because they going by lights, but they don't know what these lights are for and what they do and what it means. You only can get that from the Creator's word. And look what the Creator said in his word, so you can understand the signs of the times. And we're going to be crystal clear about what time we're in. And we're going to prove everything that we say. For example, we left off speaking about this in the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter. And let us go back to Daniel, the 7th chapter, so you can see certain things and you can understand these things. The scripture says, wisdom is the principal thing, but with all thy getting, get understanding. And a lot of times we're reading things. Anybody can say, man, when the last time? Today is the time. The time for what? We got many people teaching today that the 400-year prophecy in the book of Genesis is not speaking of this time, which let me know they don't know the time. and they don't know the signs. You got other people who they don't tell you about the years and the true months of the Most High, so consequently, they're not going to tell you about the times. So what is the times? What do the word times mean? Well, watch what this says in the book of Daniel. The 7th chapter. And watch this. And we're going right to it. Because we done read this, examined this, but I want you to understand what this is saying. In the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter, the 25th verse. And he shall speak great words against the Most High. And let me tell you, this is being done as we speak. Great words are being spoken against the Most High, and nobody even recognizes it. Nobody is taking notice. Because if you were taking notice of this, you say, oh, wait up. Wait, let me go to the word of Yah. Somebody speaking great words against the Most High. And watch further what it says. And shall wear out the saints of the Most High. And our people undoubtedly are not worn out enough, because our people are not in a state of emergency at all. They don't seem afraid. They don't seem to have any type of urgency for anything. They going about their business as they were 5 years ago, 10 years ago. But there's no urgency for anything. And watch what it says. This is how you know you're not worn out yet. But further, what did it say? Not only he going to speak great words, and this is being done, but also, and think to change times and laws. Here it is today. We have a man of insanity. And he's really not insane, because the Creator put him up there to do exactly what he is doing. He already elected and appointed a man that have a lifetime appointment on the highest court in the land, called the Supreme Court, the United States Supreme Court. And if you know anything about the history of America, this is where laws are decided. In other words, you can argue all day long in all these other courts, but once you get to the Supreme Court, that's the Supreme Court. Now, I thought the only one head of the Supreme Court is Yahweh. I thought Yahweh. Didn't y'all hear me when I opened up that Yahweh is our judge? Yahweh is our lawgiver. Yahweh is our king. But not according to this prophecy. This prophecy says, and he, this same one, would think to change times and laws. And now, right now, he has another man that he's appointing to the highest court in this land. And they have no regard at all for the Creator laws. These appointments are to do the bidding of the one who appointed them. And in this particular case, it's Donald Trump. That's who appointed these men. And if you don't know the character of this man, I'm going to show you what Yah has been telling our people. about these politicians. And we got Israelites that will go out there and vote just like our enemies, thinking that they can change the times and the laws. This thing was prophesied long before you was able to vote. This thing was prophesied before you even had the right to vote. So he got men on the court that will change laws right now. One that's going through the process, but he will be appointed. And one of the laws that they talking about changing is Roe versus Wade. In other words, abortion rights. They will do away with people getting abortions. Of course, a lot of people are going to be sad about that, but not me. And why? Because Yah said, thou shalt not murder. And if you don't know by now, that's what it takes for one to go in. They can make it sound cute all they want to, but abortion is murder. It is the shedding of innocent blood. And now these abortions have become birth control. And all these women that's getting abortions, they still have babies. So why get an abortion? You kill one and then have one. Kill one, then have one. And make no mistake about it. You're going to have to pay the price for the decisions that you made. And you can vote all you want. But the true judge see everything. And then it also said he will change the times. Look here. We're living in a time that's so different than any time that I've been alive. When have you seen an American president attack his own Justice Department? Attack his own justice head? He the one appointed him. That's like me hiring somebody, and then after I hire him, I just talk about him like a dog. What kind of sense that made? When I had the authority to fire him and hire him. Why talk about him? Just fire him. And then, why'd you hire him? The only people that I know used to talk about the justice system is black people. And we had a right to talk about it. But here, the man that got the highest position in this land and higher than the Supreme Court justices, yes, he is higher because the president is the one that appoint the Supreme Court justices. They don't hire the president hired them. And he's attacking the justice system. The Justice Department, which is the highest judicial system in the land. It is the highest attorney general in the land. And all the other attorney generals work for them. The times have surely changed. When have you seen in any time at all where the President of the United States would attack the Federal Bureau of Investigation? Let me tell you who hire and appoint the heads of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And for those who don't know what that is, it's called the FBI. Well, the president. The president do. He's the one who hire and fire. So why attack them? I thought the only people that did that was also black people. They infiltrated black organizations to put them down, and they were very successful. But here it is, the man that controls it, over it, hires for it, appoints the heads of it, he's attacking them. How slimy they are, how grimy they are, how much they lie. That's what we've been saying. We've been saying all this. But nobody paid us attention. Now the President of the United States is saying it. The times have changed. Here it is, the Israelis and the Palestinians. There was one thing that was off limits. And the one thing that was off limits is the very thing that they left off limits until peace was achieved. Because they said if they mess with this thing before peace is achieved in the Middle East, it won't be no peace. And let me tell you, the President of the United States did exactly what they said one can't do before peace is achieved. And he took the United States of American embassy and put it right in Jerusalem. Had a big fanfare about it this year. Who do that? Now the Palestinians, you notice you ain't heard nothing about them, because now they don't have no backing. They don't have no leverage. They have no chips. To come to the table now, what they going to come to the table with? They at least had that, but now they don't have nothing. We living in different times, brothers and sisters. You got to recognize what's going on. Here it is. This same president have pardoned men that we know are great criminals. In other words, these are politicians that got busted, cold-blooded, red-handed bribes and all kind of stuff. Here it is, he pardoned them. And not only pardoned them, he pardoned sheriffs too. One sheriff, here it is, we supposed to, if we didn't do what the judge ordered, we will be locked up. The sheriff who locking a lot of people up as a result of what the judge say, the sheriff refused to do what the judge said. And guess what happened? This was a sheriff out in Arizona. And guess what happened? He got pardoned. They should have put him in the same pink suit, because this same sheriff had all his prisoners, all the prisoner uniforms, they were in pink, wearing pink, because he wanted to shame them. And then they didn't have the same activities they have at other state prisons and things like that. This man wanted to ridicule the very people that was in the prison system that he was over, and had them all wear pink. But he was pardoned. And then this same president told people at his rally, if you see somebody that do such and such this and such that, punch them in the face. Just punch them. Who do that? And I'm trying to show you we're living in a different times. Different times. This same man said if he was on Pennsylvania Avenue in Washington, D.C., where the White House is, he can shoot in broad daylight and kill somebody, and nothing still will happen to him. And he's absolutely right. He said this when he was a candidate, not a president. And this same man, which is out of all the things that I just told you, attacking the FBI, attacking the justice system, moving the embassy to Jerusalem, pardon criminals, and just telling his supporters to punch people, and he talking about killing people and nothing will happen to him. Those wasn't even the worst. This is the worst thing that I've seen out of this president. The worst thing I've seen, here's a man that was come from a family that was a declarated soldier in the United States Navy. Came up in the Naval Academy. His grandfather was an admiral. That's the highest position in the Navy. His father, which is his granddaddy's son, was an admiral. And he probably would have been an admiral. But what happened is, during a time of war, he was captured and held as a prisoner of war. And the president of the United States said just because he got captured don't mean he's a hero. In other words, he dishonored this man and refused to say that this man was a hero. And they call all the soldiers heroes. They call the privates, which is the lowest position in the service. They even call the privates heroes. But this man wouldn't even call this man a hero. Then the same man who was a prisoner of war became a senator. And he still wouldn't say anything good about him. Totally dishonored him to the extent that when this man died, before he died, he wrote that he didn't even want the president at his funeral. And he asked 2 U.S. former presidents to do his eulogy. We're living in different times. But how would you know we're living in different times? Well, Yahweh. You would have never seen this at no other president. But we see it in Yahweh's word. And Yahweh said, and this is why if you don't know the times, how in the world will you know the signs? Look what the scripture says. They shall be given into his hand, or he shall think to change times and laws. And watch what happens to these laws. And they shall be given into his hand until a times, and the dividing of time. When is that? What is a time? What is times? What is the dividing of times? Since you know times, and since you know the signs. Is a time 365 days like your enemy's been telling you? Is the times 354 days in which the Jewish people teach because they just go by the moon and that's what our people go by? Are you going by a 354-day year? A 365-day year? What is a time according to the scriptures? And if you say a time is a year, well, is a time 12 months or 13 months? Or you think a time a month is a time 29 days or 30 days? Since it says they shall be given into his hand a time, a times, and a dividing of times. Should not we know what a time is? especially since we're supposed to know the signs of heaven. These are things we got to know. And let me tell you, brothers and sisters, our people don't know. Because you got to know what a month is. You got to know what a year is. You got to know what a day is. And you got to know the word of Yahweh. Watch what the Creator said in the book of Jeremiah, the 8th chapter. And don't go by me saying you don't know. Yahweh said you don't know. Look what the scriptures say in the book of Jeremiah, the 8th chapter. And you can see for yourself. In the book of Jeremiah, the 8th chapter, and watch what it says in the 7th verse. Yea, the stork in the heaven knoweth her appointed times. What is the appointed time? The word appointed times come from the Hebrew word moadim. Our people think a moadim is by the moon. You think the stork looking at the moon to determine her appointed times? Is that how you think the stork know her times? No, brothers and sisters, you got to understand wisdom is the principal thing. Moadim means exactly that. Appointed time. It's a set time that something is supposed to take place. And Yahweh say, the stork in the heaven knoweth her appointed times. And not just the stork. And the turtle, and the crane, and the swallow observe the time of their coming. They observe that time. Because how can one know the times and they don't even know the signs? But the crane know, the turtle know, the stork in the heaven know. But watch what Yahweh has to say. But my people know not the judgment of Yahweh. And why did it say judgment? Because little do our people know judgment is a measure of time. That's what judgment is. Judgment is predicated on time. It's predicated on measurement. Time is just a measurement of something. A year, that's a judgment. A month, that's a judgment. A day, that's a judgment. Our people know not the judgment of Yahweh. Further, watch what it says. How do you say we are wise and the law of Yahweh is with us? How can you say that? I got people calling me, texting me, questioning me on the various laws that you got to know Yahweh judgments. They don't even realize they don't know. And I apologize. I can't answer all the various questions that our people had because it's just too many. However, what I try to do is teach on these things so you will know the judgment of Yahweh as we're doing today. But if you want to know the times, you got to know Yahweh's judgment. And look what it says. Lo, no, the wise men are ashamed. No, how do we say we are wise? And the law of Yahweh is with us. Lo, certainly in vain made he it. The pen of the scribes is in vain. A lot of people think this is literal, that everything that's written before us is in vain. I read one book, they said it was in vain that sacrifices was written. Yahweh don't want sacrifice. That's in vain. That wasn't in vain. It's in vain. It's a metaphor. It's in vain because you don't pay no attention to it. It's in vain because you're not going to do it. It's in vain because you don't regard it. It's in vain because you're not going to teach it to your children. It's in vain because you don't even want to hear it. And that's why Yahweh said, he that turneth his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be an abomination. Because you have made the pen of the scribes in vain, not Yahweh. This has great purpose, great meaning. This is our life in the length of our days. But to you, it's in vain because you won't even do it. You won't even hearken to it. You won't even come together in it. The Creator tells us to gather ourselves together for this purpose, and you won't do it. You'll find every excuse. Well, I don't like him. Well, I don't like the way he talked. I don't like the way he delivered his message. I don't like the way he this. I don't like. Well, it ain't about you. And it ain't about what you like. This is about the Creator of the heaven, the earth, the sea, and all that is therein. This is not your word. It's not my word. It's the word of Yah. And watch what it says. The wise men are ashamed. They are dismayed and taken low. They have rejected the word of Yahweh. And what wisdom is in them? And this is all we see. All through the book, we can go and show you Yahweh's judgment. Mowreh IshiYAH, what is Yahweh's judgment? It's 12 months in a year. Show me. Bang, God, I can show you. How many days in a month, Mowreh IshiYAH? 30. Bang, and I can show you. But then when you ask the same wise men, well, how many? Show me 13 months. Show me 29 days. Show me a 24-hour day. They can't show you nothing. Nothing at all. And I know all the little scriptures you go to try to support your position. And it's not supported by Yahweh. But if you think it is, I tell people to call me all the time, the various leaders, 919-931-6216. And I'm still waiting. Watch what it says. The wise men are ashamed. They are dismayed and taken. Lo, they have rejected the word of Yahweh. And what wisdom is in them? None. None. Because we have reduced ourselves lower than the stork, the crane, and the turtle. Why don't we know these signs of the time? Why don't we know Yahweh's judgment? No wonder there's no state of emergency. There's no urgency for nothing. The same conversations we've been having is the same conversation that's going on now. What we're going to do to come together. You don't know there's urgency now? Now we in a state of emergency. And we're going to come before you, and we're going to tell you and show you through the word of Yahweh what must be done, what should be done, and what have to be done in a state of emergency. Then you can't say, well, I didn't know. I didn't know we was in a state of emergency. Nobody never told me. Well, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to show you what must be done when you're in a state of emergency. And it's up to you. You can follow the leaders that's going to take you down the drain with them if you want to. Or you can follow Yahweh. Look what the scripture said. I just want you to see when our people in a time of trouble and they knew the trouble was coming on them, what they would do. Watch this in the book of 2 Chronicles. 2 Chronicles, the 15th chapter. This scripture is going to show you there's nothing new under the sun. Nothing new at all. What has been done is now. And what shall be have already been done. And Yahweh required that which is past. So nobody had to reinvent the wheel. Matter of fact, you can't reinvent nothing. Everything repeats itself. There's nothing new under the sun. When Yahweh created 7 days, that was it. That was it. There were no other days to be made and created. It was only 7. When the Almighty created and made the months, all the months did was repeat each other. After what? After 7. And I'm going to show you beyond a shadow of a doubt, all Yahweh have is 7 different months. And they begin to repeat each other. And I'm going to prove to you what I said is the truth. And yes, you heard it right, 7 different months. Just like it's 7 different days. Yes, it's 12 months in a year, but it's still only 7 different months. And not only that, it's only 7 different years. But why don't you know these times? These are times I'm telling you about. And why don't you know them? And if you don't know it, how could you then possibly know the signs of these times? And you don't even know the times. Watch what this says in the book of 2 Chronicles, the 15th chapter. The very first verse. And the spirit of Elohim came upon Azariah, the son of Oded. And he went out to meet Asa, and said unto him, Hear ye me, Asa, and all Yehudah, and Benjamin. Yahweh is with you while ye be with him. And if ye seek him, he will be found of you. But if ye forsake him, he will forsake you. And our people still don't understand this. All they have to do is be with the Most High. And how do you be with the Most High? You be with the Most High by being with his word. That's how you know you with him. By doing his word. And watch what it says. Now for a long season, Israel have been without the true Elohim, without a teaching priest, and without the law. Three things that's essential to the development and the growth, the spirituality, and the life of Israel. You got to have these. And you got to show and demonstrate how you know you have these things. Watch what it says. But when they in their trouble, and brothers and sisters, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. Just because you don't hear the alarm, you're in trouble. Just because you don't see the signs, we are in trouble. And just because you're going to work every day and you're going to eat your donuts every day and you're going to the park and on your cruises and you're going on vacation and you're doing all these little good things, don't think and don't be confused by the stretch of no imagination. Trouble is now. And watch what it says. But when they in their trouble did turn unto Yah Elohim of Israel. It didn't say, but when they in their trouble did turn and vote in the next election. Here it is, you got, now they done got so serious just to show you how the times have changed. Never before in the annals of the history of America where a former president of the United States of America will come out and speak against a sitting president of the United States of America. In other words, once you become a president, you're in a certain fraternity. That's like a frat brother speaking against another frat brother. That's like a sister in a sorority speaking against another sister in a sorority. These are things you just don't do. But here it is. U.S. President 44, which was Barack Obama, speaking against the 45th president, Donald Trump. That has never been done before. Never been done before. We're in a different time, brothers and sisters. Watch what it says. But that's what our people going to do. They going to run and try to vote. Vote Donald Trump out. Vote so we can get Democrats to rule the Congress. Democrats to rule the Senate. Well, you can vote all you want to. It's not going to stop the trouble that Yahweh has already prophesied, determined to bring to the world, and particularly to America as well as Jacob. And who is Jacob? Jacob is Israel. Because a lot of people think Jacob is just people who don't know who they are. No, Jacob is Israel. Whether you know you Israel or whether you don't know you Israel. And watch what it says. But when they in their trouble did turn unto Yah Elohim of Israel and sought him, he was found of them. And just like we're going to tell you what you need to do in a state of emergency, we also going to teach you how you seek the Most High, how you must learn to seek him in the time of trouble. We did it, and we're going to show you how to do it. And watch what it says. But when they in that trouble did turn unto Yah Elohim of Israel, and they sought him, he was found of them. And why was they found? Because Yahweh is not a man that he shall lie, nor the son of man that he shall repent. Yahweh the one said, if you seek me, you shall find me. And when you truly seek the Most High, you're going to find him. And the only reason Yahweh ain't been found because people ain't been seeking him. They don't even know how to seek the Most High. Watch what it says. In those times, here we go. And what are we talking about? Signs of the times. In those times, and if you don't know the times, how then could you know the sign? Watch what it says. In those times, there was no peace to him that went out, nor to him that came in. But great vexations were upon all the inhabitants of the countries. And nobody should be surprised about these great vexations. I talk to people all the time, and every time I talk to people, they talk about how stressed they are, how troubled they are, how depressed they are, how frustrated they are, how down they are, how that's what they talk about. And I'm not surprised about what they're saying at all, because the scriptures say we got brothers going around teach how to overcome being a bipolar, how to overcome depression. How are you going to overcome depression? How are you going to overcome being bipolar? How are you going to overcome any mental anguish as well as physical anguish that you have without Yahweh? The only reason you have these issues is because of Yahweh. And look what the Creator said. He said, according to the book of Proverbs, when the wicked is in authority, the people mourn. They mourn. But when the righteous ruleth, the people rejoice. And why do you think the people are mourning today? And in the great trouble they feel today, and the great vexations that they going through today, it's not because your wife or your husband. You just think that. It's not because of your children. No, your issues is because of the wicked. The wicked are oppressing you. And when the wicked oppress, it'll make even a wise man mad. Look what this says. And in those times there was no peace to him that went out, nor to him that came in, even though people saying shalom every day. Shalom, brother, shalom, shalom. Yeah, that might be peace to you, but it ain't no peace in this land. It's no peace on this earth. But great vexations were upon all the inhabitants of the countries. And nation was destroyed of nation, city of city. For Elohim did vex them with all adversity. And let me tell you, you don't see what's going on in Chicago? You don't see what's going on in Detroit? Flint, Michigan? Atlanta, Georgia? Cincinnati, Ohio? You don't see what's going on in Jacksonville, Florida? Miami, Florida? And all the other towns in Florida? Los Angeles, California? You don't see what's going on out there? You better wake up. There's no city in America that you can find refuge in. Not one. Not one city. None. You can believe all the hype you want to, but there is no city of refuge in America. And for all those that think they can run and leave America, they run, but you know what happened? They all come back. Many of them come back. And why? Because they found out there was no city of refuge there. And there is no city of refuge in the South. People think they can move from the north to the south. Yeah, it might be warmer in the South. They might have some beaches down there that you can lay on and sit on and get more sun and have more land, but it is no refuge in the south. Your refuge is the Most High himself. And Yahweh is not in a particular city. Yahweh is everywhere you want him to be. Watch what it says. Be ye strong, therefore, and let not your hands be weak, for your work shall be rewarded. Yeah, if you make Yahweh your strength. And this is what we're trying to get you to do. This is what we're trying to inspire you to do every single day. We're not here trying to debate other teachers. We're not here trying to get you to go against other teachers. We're trying to inspire you to serve the true and living Elohim. We bringing forth to you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And if you disagree with anything that we're saying, all you got to do is call us and let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. And even if we still don't agree, still let Yahweh be magnified and let Yahweh make the crooked things straight. That's all we're asking. Furthermore, in this same chapter, because what are we talking about? The signs of the times. See, these troubled times, these troubled waters are nothing new at all. But you got to know the signs. And it's impossible to know the signs if you don't even know the times. And here it is. We got people calling the day night and the night day. How can we know the signs of times and we don't even know the difference between one and another? Watch what this says in this same chapter. And I know people don't want me to point out these truths and point out that and point out our differences. But I don't serve you, nor do I work for you. I work for Yah. I serve Yah, and I'm a servant of Yah. And everything he wants me to teach and point out, that's exactly what I'm going to teach and point out. And look what he said in this same chapter. Watch this. And I'm going to start at the 10th verse. Because this is what the people did when they sought the Most High. So they gathered themselves together at Jerusalem in the 3rd month, in the 15th year of the reign of Asa. Now, why the 3rd month and why the 15th year? What was so peculiar about that? Or was this just some random time? See, here it is. The reason Yahweh wanted this as a record, because all times mean something to Yahweh. All these times. That's why a lot of times, the vast majority of the time, all you got to do is read the prophets. They will tell you what time they were prophesying, how long they've been on the scene, how many years they've been prophesying, and the various date they came with their prophecies, teaching you time. But our people hadn't learned time yet. Yahweh said that. He said the stork know, the crane know, the turtle know, but my people do not know the judgment of Yahweh. That's what he said. Again, so they gathered themselves together at Jerusalem in the 3rd month, in the 15th year of the reign of Asa. And they offered unto Yahweh the same time of the spoil which they had brought, 700 oxen, 7,000 sheep. And watch what it says. Because remember, they were seeking Yahweh at this time. And Yahweh said, if you seek me, ye shall find me. 12th verse. And they entered into a covenant to seek Yah, Elohim of their fathers, with all their heart and with all their soul. And that whosoever would not seek Yahweh, the Elohim of Israel, shall be put to death, whether small or great, whether man or woman. Now, do you see what a state of emergency is? They didn't go around thinking, well, if you want to serve Yah, you can. It's up to you. No. Their attitude during this time of emergency. And if you want to know the emergency they were in, all you have to do is read 2 Chronicles, the 14th chapter, when their enemies was coming upon them to destroy them. It was a time of trouble. And in a time of trouble, you know what they did? They sought the Most High. And then it wasn't no situation, well, if you want to serve Yah, it's up to you. If you want to keep the Sabbath day, that's up to you. No, they said, whoever, whether it's small or great, whether man or woman, don't enter into this covenant, you're going to be put to death. Because we don't got time for no foolishness at this time. We all seeking Yahweh with all our heart, with all our soul, and with all our might. And we don't got time for this foolishness. Life and death is before us. And our people don't see life and death before them. So they go on about their business, how they was going about their business yesterday, and the day before yesterday, and the day before that. And there's no sense of urgency at all, even though the signs are everywhere. There's no state of emergency meeting. Even our enemies know better than that. They even know. The stranger even know. When there's a state of emergency, you got to get all the heads of states. But where is Israel's state of emergency? And Israel are the ones who are supposed to know world trouble is coming. And not just world trouble, but Jacob's trouble. Got people going around talking about, man, our 400 years are almost up, and it's supposed to be up in 2019. My goodness, that's next year. And what is Israel doing? Unfortunately, still talking and not doing. Watch what it says. You see what the people did in a state of emergency. And watch this. As a result of them seeking the Most High, in which we've been telling people we got to do, this is what happened in the 19th verse. And there was no more war until the 35th year of the reign of Asa. Now look here. When they went to Salt, y'all, it told you exactly when they sought the Most High. And when was it? The 15th year of the reign of Asa. In the 3rd month of that 15th year. And it says they had no war, which means they had peace. All the way until the 35th year of King Asa. In other words, 20 years of peace. 20 years, no war. Little do people know, when you become a man of war, you become a man of war at the age of 20. At the age of 20. So really, This was a whole lifetime. They had no war. Because from 1 all the way to 20, that's a whole lifetime. Now you done went from according to the scriptures, you done went from an infant man-child to a man of war. That's what King Asa had. 20 years. And what do 20 represent? A lot of people don't know what 20 represent in the scriptures because they don't know times. And we're going to show you what 20 means. We're going to show you what 10, 15, 1, 8, 2, 9, 30, 40, 50. We'll show you what that means. We'll give you the understanding. And you're only going to learn it here. So you be tuned in so you can see for yourself. And all we deal with is one book and one book only. And that's Yahweh's word. That's it. And watch this. I just wanted you to see that. 20 years of peace because they sought the Most High. And like I was telling you before, that all through the scriptures, it tells you exactly what you're to do in a time of emergency. Not only Israel know this, or should know it, but the scriptures say, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Even our enemies knew this. And not our enemies, but the stranger. Let me just show you this in the book of Jonah. I want you to see this in the book of Jonah. We say we know the times, but how can we know the times and we don't even recognize the signs? Because if we recognize the signs, we would know when trouble came on our fathers, my goodness, they got busy. I'm going to show you what Daniel and them did when Nebuchadnezzar thought to kill all the wise men in Babylon. Here it is. We got people trying to kill us every day, blaspheming Yahweh every day, profaning his name every day. But what is our people doing about it? Watch this in the book of Jonah. And we're going to read in the book of Jonah, the 3rd chapter. And I want you to see this. And I want to see if this is what you're doing today. I want to see if this is your attitude. Is this your spirit? Is this your wisdom? Is this your understanding? Watch what it says. Jonah, the 3rd chapter, the very first verse. And the word of Yah came unto Jonah the 2nd time, saying, Arise, go unto Nineveh. And you notice it said the 2nd time. Came to him the 1st time, but Jonah ran. Jonah hid. Because he knew the task was before him. And he thought he could do like most leaders are doing today. Run and hide. But Yahweh showed him, man, you can't run and hide from me. This thing is going down whatever I say. And there's only one thing that can stop Yahweh from doing the very thing he prophesied to do. He said his word is not going to come back to him void, and it don't. Because he only gave one thing that a man can do. One thing that a nation can do. One thing that anyone can do, from stopping his word from manifesting itself to you. And watch what that one thing is. And the word of Yah came unto Jonah the second time, saying, and what year are we in? The second. So this second has great meaning to it. And let me tell you, our people don't even know the meaning of the second. And as a result of that, this here, what we about to read, won't be done unless you understand the thing that I'm conveying to you, showing you. Watch what it says. Arise, go unto Nineveh, that great city, and preach unto it the preaching that I bid thee. And Jonah rose, went unto Nineveh, according to the word of Yahweh. Now Nineveh was an exceeding great city of 3 days' journey. And Jonah began to enter into the city a day's journey, and he cried and said, yet 40 days, and Nineveh shall be overthrown. And did not Yahweh say our people don't know the judgment of Yah? If they knew the judgment of Yah, they would know it's 40. They would know 40 is Yahweh's judgment. Here it is, they talking about 400 years. All that is 10 times 40. And if you knew what 10 was, and you know what 40 was, then this will make total sense to you. But since you don't know, and you ain't been taught that, you just see 400. It's just 400. Some people, they don't even see 400. Some type of weird way, they see 430 and don't even see 400. Now, I don't know how they see 430 when it say 400. But they do. And watch what it says. So the people of Nineveh believed Elohim and proclaimed a fast, put on sackcloth, from the greatest of them even to the least of them. All through the scriptures, you will see the same thing with the holy men of Yahweh. You will see the same exact thing. When our people believed Yah, they did what the most wicked king in Israel did. And that was Ahab. Sackcloth, and they began to fast. And they began to call upon Yah. And they would rend their heart unto Yahweh. But where have our people put on sackcloth? They don't put on sackcloth. The New Testament told them don't even do that. It say don't tear your clothes or dress up. It say don't go openly and pray. Go in the closet. It tell you don't dress down, but dress up. Anoint yourself. Yeah, this is what the New Testament teach you. And this is what our people do. They going around thinking they don't have to rend nothing. They'll tell you, well, rend your heart. What that mean? How you do that? Just have a low heart. How you have a low heart? How's your heart humble? You just they don't even know. But watch this. Now Nineveh is not an Israelite. They're not the people of Israel. Now how could they know what to do and our people don't know what to do? Watch what it says. They proclaimed a fast, put on sackcloth, from the greatest of them even to the least of them. For word came unto the king of Nineveh, and he arose from his throne. He laid his robe from him, covered him with sackcloth, and sat in ashes. Here word come to our leaders today, and you know what they saying? Well, how we gonna come together? How we gonna do this? You know, how we gonna do this? And let me tell you, I have nothing to come back to you to report, because nothing been said. But we already know what Yahweh has said, what Yahweh have accepted. Look what it says. You see what the king did. You see what the people did. But watch this. And he caused it to be proclaimed and published through Nineveh by the decree of the king and his nobles, saying, let neither man nor beast, herd nor flock, taste anything. Let them not feed nor drink water. This is a man that had a lot of belief. Because while you're fasting, you'll still feed your dog and cat. You're not going to let them fast because of your sins and because of the great danger that's coming upon you and because of your troubles. And why would you cause your cat and dog to fast? They ain't did nothing. Well, little do you know that if something happened to you, what you think gonna happen to your cat and dog? You better cause them to fast. Here it is, you won't even let a little baby fast. Think a baby gonna die because it don't eat one day. It's babies that don't eat for several days. You just don't know it. But watch this. Because not only he causes herd and flock to fast, and here it is, we got Israelites that refuse to fast. Oh, we don't got to do that today. But let man and beast be covered with sackcloth. He even put sackcloth on animals. Even the dogs and the cats said sackcloth on them. And why? Because something happened to you, something going to happen to them. We don't think like that, though. We think we sparing our babies. We think we sparing our women. But if something happened to you, fool, what you think going to happen to them? Watch what it says. But let man and beast be covered with sackcloth and cry mightily unto Elohim. Yea, let them turn every one from his evil way and from the violence that is in their hands. Who can tell if Elohim will turn and repent and turn away from his fierce anger that we perish not? Who can tell? And Elohim saw their works, that they turned from their evil way, and Elohim repented of the evil that he had said that he would do unto them, and he did it not. Because that's what Yahweh said. If you seek him, ye shall find him. And undoubtedly, the evil, our people, is being devoured by it. So you can see that our people are not seeking the Most High. What they are doing, they're being wise in their own eyes, and they think they can get out of their troubles their own self, and they can't. So you can do all the strategizing, all the planning that you want to do. The trouble is coming. The trouble is here. But if you do not do what Yahweh has prophesied every man must do, let me show you this. Watch what it says in the book of Isaiah, the 8th chapter. And you notice this is what a lot of people don't even get. I hope you're writing down these scriptures I gave. We went to Jeremiah the 8th chapter, but you don't realize that it has a lot to do with Isaiah the 8th chapter. Nor do you realize it has a lot to do with 2 Chronicles the 15th chapter. Because you don't even know that 15 and 8 are in the same order of Yahweh. Just like Genesis the 1st chapter. It's in that same order. But you're going to see it because we're going to teach it and we're going to show you. But in the book of Isaiah, the 8th chapter, and watch what it says in the 20th verse. And this is what you got to know. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. And what we're bringing to you is light. We're bringing to you the tangibles, not intangible, but the tangible things that can and must be done. If you want to escape the trouble of Yahweh, the first thing you got to know is what time are you in? And the way to know that is you got to know the signs of the time. And brothers and sisters, our people seen it. They seen when the trouble was coming, and they knew exactly what to do. And what did they do? They sought the Most High. And we read to you exactly what they did in the time of trouble. No rocket science to this. You'll never read in the scriptures, migrate to the south, like many of our brothers will say. You never read, well, we got to go back to Jerusalem. You don't think in Israel trouble was about to befall that land? Oh, yeah, big trouble going. We're going to bring it to you. Trouble will befall the Holy Land. You don't think trouble is and will befall in Africa? And what about the islands? Yes, you're not escaping nothing, because trouble will befall the islands also. As a matter of fact, there's no land that you can find refuge in. It's only one thing that you can find refuge in, and it's called the word of Yahweh. And until you learn his words, until you hearken unto his word, until you humble yourself to his word, then you're always going to find yourself in trouble and succumbing to the evil and the trouble that he's prophesied. And make no mistake about it, we all are in the same boat. I'm warning you today about the trouble that is to come. But make no mistake about it, I myself must do the very thing that I'm telling you that you must do. I myself must humble myself to the Creator's word and do the one thing that Yahweh said we must do to escape his trouble, his wrath, his anger, and he's returning with his anger. Just a couple more scriptures. If you read in the book of Isaiah, Psalms 51, if you turn there, Psalms 51, and watch what it says. We're talking about the signs of the times. Watch what it says. Psalms 51. the 16th verse. For thou desires not sacrifice, else would I give it. Thou delightest not in burnt offerings. The sacrifices of Elohim are Christ. This didn't say the sacrifices of Yahweh is Christ. It didn't say the sacrifice of Yahweh is JC. They got our people succumbing to the evil that got us in a situation that we're in. You don't get out of trouble by proclaiming some fictitious and so-called son of the Most High. That's why we're in the trouble today. Because we didn't make Yahweh our refuge. The sacrifices of Yahweh, if you want to believe in a sacrifice and you want to make a sacrifice to the Most High, it's not some so-called son. The sacrifices of Yahweh is a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart. O Elohim, thou will not despise this. He's not going to despise that, because that's the one thing every man can do. This is the one thing you have control over. That's whether you're going to break your heart, break your spirit, and do the right thing. And why? Because your heart is deceitful, desperately wicked, above all things. Who can know it? And you got to break it. And you got to break your spirit. And humble yourself before Yahweh. Also, in the book of Hosea, the 10th chapter. And we're going to keep talking about the signs of the times, because we're going to be more specific about certain things. And we're going to get into the book of Daniel. Matter of fact, right before we leave the air, I said go to Hosea, but go to the book of Daniel, because I remember I wanted to show you this in the book of Daniel. Daniel, the 2nd chapter. Watch this. Now, I already told you in the book of Jonah, they came to him. He came to Jonah the 2nd time. And when he came that 2nd time, what did he tell Jonah to prophesy? And let me tell you what he told him to prophesy. Destruction. I told you when, during the time of Noah, when did he destroy the earth by flood? In the 2nd month, the 17th day of that month. And watch here what happened. Daniel, the 2nd chapter. And in the 2nd year, here go this 2nd again, of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar, Nebuchadnezzar dreamed dreams, wherewith his spirit was troubled, and his sleep broke from him. Then the king commanded to call the magicians, the astrologers, the sorcerers, the Chaldeans, for to show the king his dreams. So they came and stood before the king. And the king said unto them, I have dreamed a dream, and my spirit was troubled to know this dream. Then spake the Chaldeans to the king in Syriac, O king, live forever. Tell thy servants the dream, and we will show you the interpretation. But watch what the king say. The king answered and said to the Chaldeans, the thing is gone from me. if ye will not make known unto me the dream with the interpretation thereof, ye shall be cut in pieces, and your houses shall be made a dunghill. But if ye show the dream and interpretation thereof, ye shall receive of me gifts and rewards and great honor. Therefore show me the dream and the interpretation thereof. They answered again and said, let the king tell his servants the dream, and we will show the interpretation of it. Now this is the second time they said something to the king, like, look, king, show us the dream, and we'll interpret this thing. The king answered and said, I know of a certainty that you would gain the time, because ye see the thing is gone from me. But if ye will not make known unto me the dream, there is but one decree for you. For ye have prepared lying and corrupt words to speak before me, till the time be changed. Therefore tell me the dream, and I shall know that ye can show me the interpretation thereof. And you heard those saying, 3 strikes you out. Watch what this says. The Chaldeans answered before the king and said, there is not a man upon the earth that can show the king's matter. Therefore there is no king, no master, no ruler that asketh such things at any magician or astrologer or Chaldean. And it is a rare thing that the king require, and there is none other that can show it before the king except the gods, the Elohims, whose dwelling is not with flesh. For this cause the king was angry and very furious, and commanded to destroy all the wise men in Babylon. And what year was this? The 2nd year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar. And brothers and sisters, my fellow Israelites, we in the 2nd year. And watch what it says. And the decree went forth that the wise men should be slain. And they sought Daniel and his fellows to be slain. Then Daniel answered with counsel and wisdom to Arioch, the captain of the king's guard, which was gone forth to slay the wise men of Babylon. The decree went out. What, y'all gonna wait till the decree go out? Israelites, watch what it says. He answered and said to Arioch, the king's captain, why is the decree so hasty from the king? Then Arioch made the thing known to Daniel. Then Daniel went in and desired of the king that he would give him time, and that he would show the king the interpretation. See, Daniel wasn't like the other guys and said, nobody, no man, like many of you all, no man got it all. No man know the answers. No man this and no man that. Instead of looking for a man of Elohim, you would just rather say, no man know. No man don't got it all. No man this, no man that. The scripture said, he that seek Yah understand all things. And you'll find this in the book of Proverbs. Let me read that real quick. I want to read that, and then we'll finish out Daniel. Proverbs, the 29th chapter. Watch what this says. I want you to see that. Or 28th chapter. The 5th verse. Evil men understand not judgment, because time is about judgment. And if you don't know time, how you going to know judgment? Evil men understand not judgment, but they that seek Yahweh understand all things. And we've been teaching now for a few years, telling people they got to seek Yahweh. But our people are, well, how you do that? Let's talk about how you go about. The book tells you how to do that. Going back to Daniel, the 2nd chapter. Watch what it says. Daniel, the 2nd chapter. Let's see what they did in a time of trouble. '17th verse. Then Daniel went to his house, made the thing known unto Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, his companions, that they would desire the mercies of the Elohim of heaven concerning their secret, that Daniel and his fellows should not perish with the rest of the wise men of Babylon. Then was the secret revealed unto Daniel in a night vision. Then Daniel blessed the Elohim of heaven. Now don't you see what must be done in a time of trouble? Here it is, our people shucking and jiving, talking about this, talking about that, and it is crystal clear what has to be done. When trouble is brewing, but you can wait too late, as many of our people will do. So it's up to you, and we're going to continue to show you the signs of the times. And I pray that you learn the judgment of Yahweh. So until tomorrow, y'all, love you. And right before I close out, for all the brothers and sisters with us, whether you with us or not, on September the 28th is the day of blowing the trumpets. That's when we'll be celebrating the day of blowing. I wanted to get these holy days. October the 7th is the Day of Atonement. And October the 12th is the Feast of Tabernacles. You have them until tomorrow. Yahweh love you. So do I. Shalom.
It's true. All y'all give it's true. All y'all teach is true. Yeah. All y'all bring is true. Nothing but what is true. Yah's word. 2 or 3 witnesses so it can be confirmed. To you, my Yah, do I lift up my soul. And trust in you, he always kept me whole. And left my enemies deep in their holes. Let none that wait on Yahweh be ashamed. But shame on those who sin without a cause. Show me your ways, please teach me your laws. Oh Elohim of my salvation, I'm staying down and patient. As a child, all the while I'm waiting. Remember not the sins of my youth. Lead me in your truth, and he'll give your soul ease. The earth shall remain inherited by a seed. The secret of Yah's with who fears Elohim. A fool believes everything, and to every word spoken. You can't take heed unless you hear somebody curse. You know you did the same thing. That's why I'm begging Yah for mercy and His love and kindness, cause I know that I ain't worthy. All y'all